And we're back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. I want to thank our very special guest. We just had Justice in the studio with us. Great joke teller.
Isn't he the coolest
young
man?
Amazing.
I just adore that little guy, and he's been that way since he's been 5. But I have a confession.
Yes.
We are recording on Wednesday night. What's today? The 3rd, maybe?
The 3rd, yeah.
It's so different energy coming in. It's pretty late,
For us, yeah.
It's 12 hours different than we usually do our show, and we've both been working all day. It's different, though, huh? So I could feel it.
I feel it.
So
you got sun, huh?
Yeah, I've got some weird stuff going on, but been out in the sun. But it's a different energy. When we had the wives in, it was earlier than this, but it was kind of fun because they brought in the energy. But it is different. So we've been so used to the morning shows for 20 years doing a night show.
Could you imagine the guys that do the radio shows in the middle of the night?
Yeah, we're both getting old. But anyways, I'm glad we're here together doing it. It is different. It's really nice that Justice came in and spent that time. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the golf world. We have the Masters coming up in a week. I can't wait. And it's so funny because I was just thinking, you and I are supposed to be there. So
I know how different would that changed, didn't it?
Yeah. And
I thought about that today.
And I was also, I went, as you know, I was in Phoenix last week with training, and it was great. It's 42. But I was supposed to go to Miami Masters Week to train again. So
really?
So I was going to be gone 2 weeks.
That's not happening.
It's not happening, and I'm really, as much as I love doing it, getting to Florida from here is an adventure.
That's a haul.
Plus, the training starts on Wednesdays. It's a level 3, so it starts on Wednesday afternoons instead of Thursday mornings. And I literally couldn't get there early enough from here to their time to be there for because they play on Wednesdays. Remember the playing thing that you guys did when you went to level 3?
Yeah, I played in the cold in Tennessee.
Yeah. So this is in Miami, but I couldn't get there in time to be with the team. I just couldn't, and unless I flew in the night before, and that's expensive for them. The hotel. I mean, it just didn't work. But the truth is, I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I bet.
As I'm tired, and I'm just getting older. And in Phoenix, those trainings, as you know, a lot of work. Plus, it's a lot of as a coach being there, but behind the scenes. So I'm really glad I'm going to be home for Masters Week, and I've actually don't have programming on Masters Sunday, which is kind of like to me, it's always been a holiday in the golf business. Anyways,
we're going to get together and watch it.
We should, man, because I have nothing on the schedule.
I don't either,
and it's so weird.
I don't either. So that's one of my first.
So I was either going to be traveling.
We need to have a Masters party.
So we really should do something. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also, in this, I wanted to bring this up, see your thoughts on this. I read an article that I was looking for stuff about the Masters. And I'm excited to watch it. And there's a lot of history that could be made. And they got the Tiger buzz coming back. But the article I read is that they sent out a questionnaire to 4 or 5 of the most renowned course designers. I don't know if you saw this article.
I did not.
And how they would remodel or tweak or renovate Augusta National.
Oh, this would be interesting.
And so I kept reading it, and I saw some people's opinions. And I was thinking to myself, why? I mean, would you put a smile, mouth, and teeth on the Mona Lisa? I mean, would you grab the painting and add
when you brought
teeth?
that up, that was the first thing that came to my mind was why.
I mean, it's.
But then I thought, well, maybe it'd be interesting to hear what they have to say.
It kind of was, except for there was one person, and I can't remember the name, so I'm not going to misquote it.
Serge Rosenfels.
It was Serge Rosenfels, yeah. So said that why fix something that's not broken? I mean, he was the most on. But if I had to do something, blah blah blah. But he finally said, but it's true. They've only done a couple renovations, period, since the beginning of it, and.
Does it say what that guy would do?
I don't remember. I think the third hole is that little par 4.
Yeah.
And years ago, and he actually played in it many years ago in the 70s. And on the left, there was one bunker in that corner. It's only 340-yard long hole, or 360 maybe. But it was closely mown area. There was no rough at Augusta, not until the 90s, I think. Did they have any rough, right? It was just closely mown. So that green slopes sharply from right to left, and it's a dogleg right. Remember that little tiny green, a shelf?
Right.
We stood right behind it. Remember they're hitting little wedges into that green?
Right.
So he said the play for the players was to blow it over the corner bunker into that short grass, which wasn't fairway, but it was closely mown, so you could come in from the left because you would hit into an uphill slope and it would stay on the green.
Gotcha.
So one of the changes that Nicholas came when he helped redesign it is they put 3 or 4 or 5 little bunkers on that corner instead of one. They're a little spread out. and then they let the grass grow from the left side.
Right.
So if you went over there and missed those bunkers, you were in the rough, and then you couldn't stop the ball on that green anyway. So
Right.
it took that play out. And the guy said he would bring that back. He said, he thought that if he was going to fix it again, he would go back and make that another closely mown area. But that was pretty much the only thing that he would change. But there was a lot. So, you've been there. We've walked the entire course. It's a magnificent golf course. I mean, that's to say the least. It's a work of art, right? I can't imagine.
I can't imagine
changes and why they'd even bring that up.
I can't imagine changing anything. But they talk about, like, I was looking at a couple articles while you were just talking about that, and one of the things that the architects talked about is they feel that some of the holes need to be widened out. And for you and I being there and walking through it and stuff, I think that's part of the course.
Are they talking about the fairways wider, or just because they were really wide and then they narrowed them?
So they're talking about the rough and what Augusta calls the second cut, and they would eliminate the second cut of rough.
There's rumor because it was never a second cut until 10 or 15 years ago. I don't know the exact date. It was always closely mown.
Yeah.
And then there was pine straw.
That was a thing when we went that I was most surprised about. Like, there really wasn't rough.
It's still not like rough, but there's that second cut. But the greens are so firm and so it was hard to, if you're in a rough, you can't get them on those greens.
Right.
Excuse me, but it's they're hitting it so far that they had to lengthen.
Right.
The course it's still not considered long, tour wise, right? But still not. I think it's still under 7,000 yards.
Right.
But it was 65 or whatever it used to be, but they didn't hit the ball very far, right? You're hitting a 240. And so, and then the par fives, Tiger hit sand wedges into 15 all 4 days when he won in 97. So it's in two. He's hitting sand wedges into, wedges into two. I mean, the second shot onto 15. And when Sarazen won, he hit 4-iron or 4-wood onto that green.
Right.
I mean, so there's a huge difference in the distance. So that's one of the things they would say. But, they're trying to buy property behind 13.
Yes.
And they're buying the property from whoever owned it, and they want to stretch that whole way back. That par five where you can go. Remember, Bubba hit it so far around the corner that they're trying to make it so they can't get around that corner. That's
why.
And that's what they're.
I don't. I mean, that's when it comes to the Masters. I mean, and especially I guess for us being there, I want to see that.
That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, like the shot shaping and the opportunity that these guys have the potential to pull a shot like that off. That's entertainment. That's sports.
And that's been, and I think you knew that the nines were flipped around from original design.
Yeah.
So that was the back nine now was the front nine.
Right.
And so there's too much theater, right? There's just so much theater on that. And so that's a brilliant decision. But you're right. Those are risk rewards.
Right.
Because those guys that go for 13 and hit in the rivers, but it's their setup. If they put it way back, no one's going to be going for that thing.
No.
And that's actually honestly considered. That's not one of the guys' opinions. That's actually being considered by Augusta, so there's a lot of uproar about that. But I don't
agree with that.
I don't think it should be changed. And then 12, they're thinking of making 12, a little deeper green, and that's that little tiny skinny green is one of the best par threes in the world. And it's perfect length. Was it 140 or 150 or whatever that hole is? And, remember Jordan Spieth had this disaster there. So why change that hole? And a lot of them that was the one hole they went to that they would change.
That they would change?
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, why would you change one of the best holes in the world?
It's an iconic
It's like
golf
changing
hole.
7 at Pebble. I mean, you just don't do it.
I think sometimes
But it's interesting that they even brought that up, and I don't think if I was a designer, I'm not sure I would have answered the way that one guy did. You don't fix something that's not broken.
I think that there are a lot of things they talk about, like in business and life, how change is difficult, but it's good. And I don't think changing Augusta's a positive thing. I think what's great about Augusta, and not knocking into the other events, is that Augusta's Augusta. It is what it is, and you and I were there, and we saw the way it's laid out. And you can change cut lines, you can change different things like that to have probably an even greater impact instead of changing around the golf course. I mean, I can still remember a couple of guys we saw when we went 13, watch them hit around the corner.
Yeah.
On 5, I was blown away at how much.
Bubba hit a lefty cut driver way around the corner. He hit 8-iron or something into that green. How do you hit a ball 320 with a high cut? I mean,
and when we were there watching that, I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, when we first got there, Because we've seen that on TV a gazillion times, right?
So you stand there.
You can't figure it out until you really stand there and you're in person. And you're like, I don't even know how is this possible. Like I physically need to see how they're going to do this. And you watch them do it, and it's a phenomenal thing because I didn't realize how much that hole is truly a half circle.
Yeah, it is.
It really is a half circle, and these guys are hitting it almost like a boomerang around the corner. Like you said, 320 yards.
That's
whatever.
So,
I mean, it's incredible.
That's why they're trying to lengthen it. And they did. I think they successfully bought that property. So anyway, I just found that interesting that they'd even bring that up. But a lot of them thought they'd pick the Eisenhower tree back. That was the tree on 17.
Yeah.
That fell over, and it's not there anymore. And that was an iconic tree, kind of like the one at 18 at Pebble by the Green.
I could see
There's
that.
two little, yeah. So
I mean,
I
could see them.
But now that they're
like
getting because it was such a famous tree, and they made that driving really. Now it's a pretty easy driving hole, 17,
right?
Relatively easy, and it made it even more.
Yeah, you and I, piece of cake. We got that.
But they were thinking of that, and someone added one in bunkers here and there. But I maybe made a good conversation or a good topic, but I just found out. I'm thinking why. So that was interesting. But
yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I don't think they should change any of that. If they're going to change some rough heights and different things like that, I could see that.
Yeah,
but
and very, it's amazing that the USGA there's nobody has decisions on that except for the committee of Augusta, the Masters.
Yeah,
they have their own. They do everything their own way, and I think that's pretty. It's pretty. It says a lot for them. I am curious to see that the first time they're having a women's tournament there is this week.
Yeah, I know that's
and
cool.
The amateur, and they're only playing there one day at the. They're playing across the street the other days. But I'd love to see how they set it up for that.
Did you see Lou get hurt? She's not playing.
Ah,
I was bummed.
No, I didn't.
I was just telling some of the girls.
That's our little phenom.
I was telling some of the girls in the first tee about how she played in the NCGA Tour event at Paso, how she qualified in the Ladies U.S. Open, and I said, "Watch her; she's going to be playing." And
is she still a junior?
Yeah, she's like 15.
Yeah, still amazing.
Something like that.
She got hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll do it next year. She'll be back.
Yeah. We got to take our break, guys. Thanks for listening to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Bill. We'll be right back with the second hour. Stay with us. Don't forget to visit us at golftalkradio.com.